Sure.
Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivachadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama, Hare
Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Can I share the screen now? Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Is it visible, Mataji, clearly, the screen? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna everyone. Vasudeva said, this material world is like a great flowing river, and its waves are the three material modes of nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. This material body, as well as the sense, the the faculties of thinking, feeling, and willing, and the stages of distress, happiness, attachment, and lust, all are different products of these three qualities of nature. The foolish person who cannot realize your transcendental identity above all these material reactions continues in the entanglement of fruitive activity and is subjected to the continuous process of birth and death without a chance of being freed. This is confirmed in a different way by the Lord in the fourth chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. There it is said that anyone who knows the appearance and activities of the Supreme Lord Krishna is freed from the clutches of material nature and goes back to back to Godhead. Therefore, Krishna's transcendental name, form, activities, and qualities are not products of this material nature. Hare Krishna Mataji. Revati Mataji, you can read two para, and next Ayushi Mataji can read. Hare Krishna.
85 chapter na, Mataji. 85 chapter na.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
right,
Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So basically, what they are telling is Krishna's name, form, everything is transcendental, and nothing can actually equate that. So that Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi, nobody can actually stop that, right? So it is an absolute feature of the Lord. Hare Krishna. So the only thing, the time is also Krishna, right? He is Kala, and what they are talking overall is all of this are the rules, like the law of nature is very stringent, which is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam as well in the first canto, 8th chapter, right? So you cannot surpass those laws at any point in time. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Revati Mataji, you read Mataji.
Yeah, let Ayushi Mataji read the next paragraph. I'll continue. I'm just, I've gone to that distinct and I'm just going through it. Let
Okay,
Ayushi Mataji
Hare
then
Krishna
Ayushi.
Mataji.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna everybody. Dandavat
Mataji.
Pranam. My dear Lord Vasudeva continued, despite all these defects of the conditioned soul, if someone somehow or other comes in contact with devotional service, he achieves the civilized human form of body with developed consciousness and thereby becomes capable of executing further progress in devotional service. And yet illusioned by the external energy, people generally do not utilize this advantage of the human form of life. Thus, they miss the chance of eternal freedom and unnecessarily spoil the progress they have made after thousands of births. In the bodily concept of life, due to false egotism, one is attached to the offsprings of the body, and thus everyone is conditioned. Life is entrapped by false relationships and false affections. The whole world is moving under this false impression and suffering material bondage. I know that neither of you is my son. Both of you are the original chief and progenitor, the personality of Godhead, the Purusa with Pradhana. But you have appeared on the surface of this globe to minimize the burden of the world by killing the Kshatriya kings who are unnecessarily increasing their military strength. You have already informed me about this in the past. My dear Lord, you are the shelter of the surrendered soul, the supreme well-wisher of the meek and humble. I am therefore taking shelter of your lotus feet, which alone can give one liberation from the entanglement of the material existence. Mataji, should I continue reading?
Can I
Yes,
read?
Mataji.
Can I read, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. Revati Mataji can read to para.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Yes,
Mataji.
Mataji.
For a long time, I have simply considered this body to be myself. And although you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I have considered you my son, my dear Lord. At the very moment when you first appeared in Kamsa's prison house, you informed me that you were the Supreme Personality of Godhead and that you had descended for the protection of the principles of religion as well as the destruction of the unfaithful. Although unborn, you descend in every millennium to execute your mission. My dear Lord, as in the sky there are many forms appearing and disappearing, you also appear in many eternal forms and then disappear. Who therefore can understand your pastimes or the mystery of your appearance and disappearing? Our only business should be to glorify your supreme greatness. When Vasudeva was addressing his divine sons in that way, Lord Krishna and Balarama were smiling because they were very affectionate to their devotees. They accepted all the appreciation of Vasudeva with a kindly smiling attitude. Krishna then confirmed all of Vasudeva's statement as follows: My dear father, whatever you may say, we are after all your sons. What you have said that is certainly a high philosophical understanding of spiritual knowledge. I accept it in toto without exception. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, very beautifully read and very beautiful topic. So when the children are actually talking about themselves, right? They Vasudev very clearly knows they both are Supreme Personality of Godhead, and although he has a lot of paternal affection, he also understands he has a lot of reverence because they understand that he is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, considering all this, he is very clearly trying to explain, telling that this is ultimate. You are the best, and therefore you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Krishna and Balram are again trying to tell that, okay, agreed. Whatever you're saying, I totally agree. But this is of high spiritual understanding. So the smile of Krishna means 1,000 words. So that's the specialty of Krishna. With the same smile, most of the devotees do understand the meaning of that smile. It actually conveys multiple meanings and languages. Yeah, please go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Vasudeva.
Mataji, you can continue on para.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Vasudeva was in the complete perfection of life in considering Lord Krishna and Balrama to be his sons. But because the sages assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra had spoken about the Lord as the supreme cause of everything, Vasudeva simply repeated it out of his love for Krishna and Balrama. Lord Krishna did not wish to detract from his relationship with Vasudeva as father and son. Therefore, in the very beginning of his reply, he accepted the fact that he is the eternal son of Vasudeva and that Vasudeva is the eternal father of Krishna. After this, Lord Krishna informed his father of the spiritual identity of all living entity. He continued, My dear father, everyone and everything, including me and my brother Balrama, as well as all the inhabitants of city of Dwarika and all cosmic manifestations are exactly as you have already explained. But all of us are also qualitatively one. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Revati Mataji, you can continue on para. Hare
Yeah,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you very much. Lord Krishna intended for Vasudeva to see everything with the vision of Mahabhagavata, a first-class devotee who sees that all living entities are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord and that the Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart. In fact, every living entity has a spiritual identity, but in contact with material existence, one becomes influenced by the material modes of nature. He becomes covered by the concept of bodily life, forgetting that the spirit soul is of the same quality as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One mistakenly considers one individual to be different from another simply because of their materially bodily coverings. Because of differences between bodies, the spirit soul appears before us differently. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. So everybody, Aham Brahmasmi, right? We have this concept of Aham Brahmasmi. We should clearly understand that Krishna, we are not the body, we are the soul. Though we all have the jnana, right? Knowledge is there, but we don't apply the knowledge. We have to get into that form. Hare Krishna. Yeah, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna everyone. Lord Krishna then gave a nice example in terms of the 5 material elements. The total material elements, namely the sky, air, fire, water, and earth, are present in everything in the material world, whether in an earthen pot or in a mountain or in the trees or in a earring. These five elements are present in everything in different proportions and quantities. A mountain is a gigantic form of the combination of these five elements, and a small earthen pot is made of the same elements but in smaller quantity. Therefore, all material items, although in different shapes or different quantities, are of the same ingredients. Similarly, the living entities beginning from Lord Krishna and including millions of Vishnu forms, and also the living entities in different forms from Lord Brahma down to the small ant are all of the same spiritual quality. Some are great in quantity and some are small, but qualitatively they are of the same nature. It is therefore confirmed in the Upanishads that Krishna or the Supreme Lord is a chief among all living entities and that he maintains them and supplies them with all necessities of life. Anyone who knows this philosophy is in perfect knowledge. The Vedic version, Tattvam Asi, to at the same means not that everyone is God, but that everyone is qualitatively of the same nature as God. Hare Krishna Mataji. Can I continue next para?
Yes, Mataji, continue.
After hearing Krishna speak the entire philosophy of spiritual life in an abbreviated summation, Vasudeva was extremely pleased with his son. Being thus elated, he could not speak but remained silent. In the meantime, Devaki, the mother of Lord Krishna, sat by the side of her husband. Previously, she had heard that Krishna and Balrama were so kind to their teacher that they had brought back the teacher's dead son from the clutches of the superintendent of death, Yamraja. Since she had heard of this incident, she had also been thinking of her own sons who were killed by Kamsa, and while remembering them, she was overwhelmed with grief. Out of compassion for her dead sons, Devaki appealed to Lord Krishna and Balrama thus: My dear Balrama, your very name suggests that you give all pleasures and all strength to everyone. Your unlimited potency is beyond the reach of our minds and words. And my dear Krishna, you are the master of all mystic yogis. I know that you are the master of Prajapatis like Brahma and his assistants, and you are the original personality of Godhead, Narayana. I also know for certain that you have descended to annihilate all kinds of miscreants who have been misled in the course of time. They have lost control over their minds and sense, have fallen from the quality of goodness, and have deliberately neglected the direction of the revealed scriptures by living a life of extravagance and impudence. You have descended on the earth to minimize the burden of the world by killing such miscreant rulers. My dear Krishna, I know that Mahavishnu, who is lying in the casual ocean of the cosmic manifestation and who is the source of this old creation, is simply an expansion of your plenary portion. The creation, maintenance, and annihilation of this cosmic manifestation are effected only by your plenary portion. I therefore take shelter of you without reservation. I have heard that when you wanted to reward your teacher, Sandipani Muni, and he asked you to bring back his dead son, you and Balrama immediately brought him from the custody of Yamaraja, although he had been dead for a very long time. By this act, I understand you to be the supreme master of all mystic yogis. I therefore ask you to fulfill my desire in the same way. In other words, I am asking you to bring back all my sons who were killed by Kamsa. Upon your bringing them back, my heart will be content and it will be a great pleasure for me just to them once. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you. Can we stop here the session, Mataji, or can anyone continue? Because the time is 9:28. So
We can have one more paragraph, I think so, na?
Yeah, one more paragraph we can read, and what they are talking about. He got back the dead son of Yamaraj. So he is telling from Yamaraj, sorry, not of Yamaraj, of Sandipani Muni. So she is requesting that she wants to also see her children whom she had lost. How many children did she lose?
6 children, I think so, Mataji, because 8th one is
Yeah,
Krishna
right.
and 7th
Yeah.
one was Yoga Maya. So I think 6 children.
7th one was Balram and 8th was Krishna. So she lost 6 children. Hare Krishna. Yeah, go ahead. Continue. Hare Krishna.
After hearing their mother.
Can I read, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. Kuhu Mataji, read one para,
Go ahead.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
After hearing their mother speak in this way, Lord Balarama and Krishna immediately called for the assistance of Yogomaya and started for the lower planetary system known as
Stala.
Stala, formerly in his incarnation of Bamana, but Maharaja who donated to him everything he
Mataji,
had.
Hare Krishna. You have to start his incarnation of Vamana, the Supreme Personality. From that paragraph, you have to start, Mataji.
Planetary system known as a Sattva, formerly in his incarnation of
Vamana.
Vamana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he had satisfied by the king of demons, Bali Maharaja, who donated to him everything he had. Bali Maharaja was then given the whole of Satala for his residence and kingdom. Now, when this great devotee, Bali Maharaja, saw that Lord Balarama and Krishna had come to his planet, he immediately married. He immediately married in an ocean of happiness. As soon as he saw Lord Krishna and Balarama in his presence, he and all his family members stood up from their seats. And bowed down to the lotus feet of the lords. Bali Maharaja offered Lord Krishna and Balarama the best seat he had in his position, and when both Lord Krishna were position, and when both Lord Krishna were seated comfortably, he began to wash their lotus feet. He then sprinkled the water on his head and on the head of his family members. The water used to wash the lotus feet of Krishna and Balarama can
Purify.
even the greatest demigod such as Lord Brahma. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vancha kalpadruvasya kripa sindhubhyaiva cha patitanan pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta koti Vaishnava Jai Srila Prabhupada Jai. Namacharya Haridas Thakur Jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Ram Hare. Shweta, you have to end the meeting for because I gave you the host.
Yeah,
Thank you very much,
Mataji.
Mataji, for a wonderful session.
Don't just leave the meeting, end the meeting. Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Yeah, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you so much.